Mount Zion was birthed through a dream. I was under the leadership of Pastor Fernando Gonzalez, and during that time, the Lord had given me a dream of myself pastoring a church, but I couldn't believe it because I could never see myself speaking to people in front of people, or because I was a very timid guy. So the first time was when God gave me a dream. He gave me a dream that I was speaking before a multitude of people. Well, I guess I was like Moses. I began to give God excuses. I'm not very good with words, and many excuses I gave, and I couldn't really believe it until God confirmed it through 3 people in my life. There was a confirmation that God called me to this. You know, it's funny. I didn't never realize we started on 10-10-10 until years later. After looking back, it dawned on me, and it was kind of funny. And I thought, well, we didn't plan it like that. Well, God has His ways of working things for the good, and I believe it was a God thing that it was 10-10-10. But praise be to God. Thank God that it was like that. We started back in, of course, 2010, early of 2010. We started having some Bible studies in the home, backyard, and till finally a brother from Skidmore named Sam Benya, he allowed us to begin services in his little storefront building off of Highway 181. And my father and I began there in the storefront. A humble beginning, very humble. And well, we started with just a handful of people. We started, I believe about 18 people. First service, real small. And when I think about that, what comes to my mind is the Bible verse that says, "Despise not small beginnings." So it was a very small beginning, but even though it was small, we were still faithful because we had a vision. Well, to our amazement, the little storefront building there in Skidmore had become too small, and so many souls were coming to Jesus Christ. And I remember it being to a capacity of about 80 people now within 2 years. And what I remember is like, what are we gonna do? I had no clue. We wanted to build. We're looking for property. We're looking for land. We're looking for buildings, anything possible. We even thought about having church outside, but one day as we drove to Beeville, my wife and I, we stopped here in Beeville. We cruised around town like we usually do, and we came across 2106 Jones Road. And when I saw the building for the first time, I told my wife, I said, that building's, I think it's gonna be too expensive for us. I think that building's out of our budget. But my wife insisted to say, you know what, just give a call. It won't hurt to see how much or what it will take to try to get into this building. So relocating to Beeville was never our intention, was never in our mind. It never crossed our wildest dreams. But God had a plan for us to be in Beeville. And when we saw this building, everything just worked out to our favor. The moment we stepped inside this church, inside this facility, and as I came into this building, I fell in love with it. I said, this is what we dreamed of, this is what we wanted. And I remember as we were walking through the hallways, and as I got into the fellowship hall, I remember very clearly that the Lord spoke to me and said, it's going to be ours. And I could not believe it. I was really emotional at that moment. I began to cry because I heard the Lord tell me, it's going to belong to you. And at that moment, my faith increased, my faith rose up, and I began to walk in that faith. And 3 weeks later, we were inside of the building here of 2106 Jones Road. And what a joy it was to relocate to Beeville, Texas, not realizing that this is where God wanted us. Our journey from the storefront to where we are now has really been a blessing. We have seen how God has been bringing many souls to His kingdom. We have experienced a rapid growth in our church community to the point where we had to break down walls. We had to think of new ways to open up more space for the children that are coming, for the youth that are coming, for all the families that have been coming here at Mount Zion. And we have just seen God move in a mighty way, and it's been very amazing to see how people have been coming and just giving their hearts and giving their lives over to Jesus Christ. It's really been a journey of faith through these years, and I want to thank God for that, because if it wasn't for God, we wouldn't be here today. But because of His grace and His love, we are seeing that God is doing a mighty thing. Wherever you find yourself in life, we want you to know that when you walk in through these doors, you will experience the love of God on a whole different dimension. All the way from the smiles on people's faces to the warm handshakes, you will feel the love of God. And if you are in search of truth, if you are in search of a deeper relationship with Jesus Christ, we want to invite you. We want to extend our hands to you and let you know that you are welcome here with us. Wherever you are in life, there's no place you'd rather be than to be home. Welcome home.